Hello, it is Wednesday, March 29th, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Wednesday puzzle today, which means a midweek, mid-difficulty themed crossword, and yet another debut. We've had quite a few of these recently, and this debut midweek crossword has been brought to us by Noah Bezenson, Matt R., Tom Nemchek, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Schulmaster. So thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support in sustaining this channel. If you would like to directly contribute to keeping this channel going, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description to become a benefactor, get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, or a patron at any level to get all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, and the new ones that go up each week, although I realize I am a little behind on those at the moment, and will make up for that shortly. And thank you to everybody who has become a patron. I really do appreciate it. It helps keep this whole channel going. Another thing that helps the channel keep going is if you subscribe to it on YouTube. So thanks to everybody who's done that. And you can also join the Daily Solve Discord chat server in a link in the description field as well. So let's get on to today's puzzle, which, as I noted, is a debut construction by Ben Zune. So welcome to him. And it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving. See what sort of theme we have in store for us today. Entertain could be amuse, maybe, but let's look at the down here. Details, please. Not sure if that begins with A necessarily. Ranch sound. Moo, maybe? Cattle ranch? So that probably is amuse then. And supposed Roswell crasher would be a UFO, so Roswell, New Mexico, associated with claims of UFO activity. So like a wet blanket. No fun is a metaphor, sort of idiom people use to describe someone who's no fun, a wet blanket. Details, please. I do not understand what's going on here. Oh, right, here's our theme, of course. The first answer of which is positioned exactly where we would expect it to be. Fasteners near hasps. Oh, and an anagram of 11 down. Oh, that's interesting. Are these all going to be anagrams? Yes, these are all going to have the same letters. Oh, that's really interesting. So vocational training provider and an anagram of 55 across. Challenge for a firewalker and an anagram of 25 down. And finally, in a sort of looping way, specialized tableware for serving some Mexican food and an anagram of 17 across. Oh, very good. All right, so we'll have 4 answers containing precisely the same letters arranged in 4 different orders. I don't know. Well, it'll end with an S probably because it's a plural clue. What about this? Grass and clay for tennis. Those are court types, surface types, surfaces. There we go. Twined together, enlaced maybe? If your shoelaces were sort of twined together, they could be enlaced maybe. Yes, this looks right. More than a stone's throw away would be far, not near. Blank sea, outlet of the Amu Darya. Is it the Aral Sea? That would be my guess. Does that give us anything with this? Oh, fasteners near hasps. Door something? Door latches? That sounds plausible. Door latches. Fasteners near hasps. So a hasp is sort of... What exactly? It's sort of some element of a kind of door lock system or something. And why can I not think was it? Is it the bit that sort of receives the bit that clicks in? Boy, this is a disaster of an explanation, isn't it? Anyway, what about this? Details, please. And. Oh, I see. You say details, please, and you'd say and expectantly to imply that you want more details. Okay, well, despite my inability to sort of properly comprehend what the function of a hasp, I think I've inferred that this answer to this first anagram clue is door latches. That looks right to me. QB goof, quarterback goof, abbreviation, and interception, I suppose, if a pass is intercepted. Ernst, who studied sonic booms. Is it Ernst Mach, for whom The speed Mach is named, Mach 1, Mach 2, Mach 3 representing, Mach 1 representing the speed of sound. Yearns for, aches for, if one yearns for something, one aches for that thing. And bargain bin finds deals or something, maybe? Not sure. Apples with chips could be iMacs, so Apple computers with computer chips, integrated circuits. And a loaded chip could be a nacho, so a tortilla chip loaded with cheese and things. Bargain bin finds some scrubbers. Oh, SOS pads. Is that a? I think that's a brand. I think that's a brand name. An SOS pad, I think. Some sort is for scrubbing dishware or cookware, like a laundry pile. Heat up, maybe. Not certain about that phrasing, but let's check the crosses and see if we can confirm or deny. Friends and associates in slang. Oh, in slang. One's peeps, maybe? One's people? I think that might be the answer. And to call upon, yes, to call upon someone as for a position would be to tap them for a particular position. Wish undone. If you wish something undone, you rue it, you regret it. And to foretell is to augur, to foresee. So this augurs ill, you could say. This bodes poorly. To ripen is to get older, to age. And, oh, right, here's our next one of these. So a vocational training provider is a trade. Let's see, can I figure this out? So what letters remain here? I'll put them in pencil, and we can see if we can stumble our way to the answer. So we need an S, a C, 2 O's. Oh, trade school. Yes, okay, that was actually a useful exercise. I'm sure that's right. Yeah, that looks right to me. So a vocational training provider is a trade school. There we go. I'm impressed at that finding things that, at least so far, aren't completely ridiculous. I mean, sometimes in order to make these themes work, there have to be extremely tortured sort of punny phrases. But these are both very normal sort of sounding things, door latches and trade school. That's impressive. All right. Inserts used in orthodontics could be spacers. So orthodontics dealing with sort of teeth. I don't know, how would you describe orthodontics? Dealing sort of proper positioning of teeth, I suppose, and you might use spacers to that end. Bargain bin finds cheap. I mean, cheap buy would come to mind, but that's singular, and the B doesn't look good here. Nuptial exchanges, oh, I do's. So exchanges in a wedding. And intro to logical, ecological is a word, obviously. Oh, cheapies, I suppose. So just sort of cheap goods, I guess, is what we're looking for. Snowboards in lingo. I don't know. What are snowboards called in slang? I'm not sure offhand. Busy professional in April could be a certified public accountant, because at least in the United States, April is tax season. And then tubular pasta variety could be penne, which are the sort of angle-cut, tubular, relatively thin pastas, thinner than, say, a rigatoni. Paid table stakes could be antes, and you pay into a poker game, for instance. And if you say something happened subsequently, it happened then, it was then, it happened next. To be the head of as a band is to front a band, to be the front man or front woman of a group. And a yogi's balancing stance with arms overhead. Tree pose? That's a complete guess, but it seems plausible to me. Tree pose. It sounds plausible. 2016 Lucasfilm production starring Felicity Jones. Oh, Rogue One, the film, the Star Wars film. And something a Tesla driver doesn't need to carry. Doesn't need to... what does a Tesla driver not need to carry? I'm not sure what that's getting at, really. Oh, fuel cap? I'm not sure I understand. I mean, I understand the idea around it because Tesla vehicles are entirely electric, so they don't use gasoline. But why would anyone sort of carry around a fuel cap? I guess that's probably the answer. I mean, while at a service station, you could take out your fuel cap and sort of carry it around. Just carry is an odd verb to apply to a fuel cap for me, but that might be the answer. I'm not certain it is, but I think it probably is. The Eiger, for one, is an Alp, a mountain, and an irksome buzzer is a gnat. If you prepared, oh, sorry, I missed this. Paid, oh, I see, right. I interpreted paid as an adjective describing table stakes. So I interpreted this entire answer as a noun. In other words, table stakes that are paid, which are antes. But actually, it's referring to, it's a past tense verb. We're saying in the past, we paid table stakes. We anteed in. So there we go. So prepared to pop the question is kneeled to propose marriage. And then if you passed without flying colors, you did okay. Not great, but okay. And snowboards and lingo, right. What is it? Rides? That seems too vague, too broad. Not sure. Ancient Greek city-state. Oh, I'm not sure about this offhand either. I hope I recognize it when I see it. Ticketed, cited maybe, and maybe an officer cites you, tickets you for an infraction. And a bathroom remodeling specialist is probably a tiler in terms of something that would fit in 5 letters here, someone who's involved in bathroom remodeling. So maybe are snowboards rides? That's very surprising to me, given how many things could be described as rides. Groundbreakers, not sure. You root for a sports team, you cheer them on. Oh, and here's our next one of these anagrams. Challenge for a firewalker. Challenge for a firewalker. Oh, I don't know. It'd be nice if I could immediately. I am not great at immediately unpicking anagrams, unfortunately. What about this? To vote for something is to, or someone is to opt. Doesn't really quite work, I don't think. Up to now could be as yet. Oh, I see. Made the same mistake. I made the opposite mistake. I was interpreting this one as a verb. In fact, it was the thing I did originally with antes in the other case, where what it is in this case is for modifying a noun, which is a vote. It is a vote for. In other words, I, as in the ayes have it. Okay, if someone is not self-sufficient, someone or something, one somethings. Or no, it could also be an adjective. I keep making this mistake. Oh no, it must be an adjective, sorry. I don't know, though. I'm not saying it. Conducted, led, as in an orchestra. Maybe I have something wrong. Maybe this isn't fuel cap. Needy. Oh, fuel can. I see. A Tesla driver wouldn't carry a fuel can to their car. Right. I suppose that didn't occur to me because it's fairly uncommon for anybody to be carrying a fuel can around. But fair enough. That makes more sense. And I'm glad it's not fuel cap. So farm structure could be a sty, as in a pigsty, and a challenge for a firewalker. Right, okay, so let's figure this out. We need one more O. Let's put on the pencil tool here. One more O, we need an H and a D. Okay, this order is obviously wrong, but I'm just getting them in there. And an E. Red hot coals. There we go. Okay, sorry if you got there faster than I did. Congratulations. Red hot coals. There we go. All right, is a challenge for a firewalker. Very good. And once again, an extremely normal phrase. I'm very impressed by this. Okay, Tolkien horde member, a horde of orcs, I suppose, from The Lord of the Rings. And Justin Timberlake's former band was In Sync. I guess sort of late 90s, early 2000s boy band. Say blank, say when, you might say, when pouring a drink, for instance. And word with tall or short. Tall, it's a tall order, or you could be a short order cook in a diner, for instance. So there we go. That's a nice clue because tall order and short order actually refer to sort of entirely different things, but we have this nice clean clue in which the two kind of indicative words are direct opposites, even though their kind of corresponding phrases aren't really opposites. They're kind of unrelated. A bit of sleepwear could be a teddy, and groundbreakers are what? Thai dish that translates as fried with soy sauce. Is it pad see ew? I'm not 100% certain about this. Let's check the crosses. Groundbreakers. Oh, pioneers. People who are breaking ground in a metaphorical sense. Okay, I was sort of trying to think of, I don't know, construction machinery or something, but that was completely wrong. Dos plus seis would equal, so that's 2 plus 6 equals 8, which is ocho in Spanish. And a Rite Aid competitor, this is a drugstore chain in the United States, which would be CVS. In good shape financially, you're solvent, you're, financially above water. And, oh, look at that, groundbreak. So here we had groundbreakers, and here we have groundbreaker with a hyphen. That's interesting. What does that suggest? Maybe in this case it is a literal breaker of ground. Not sure. Blank, you serious? Are you serious? And blank Tag Spiegel, German daily. Okay, so this will be a definite article, but I'm not sure which it is. I don't remember. Someone has probably explained this to me in the comments before, but I don't remember the what distinguishes the various German definite articles. But let's try der and see if that works. Oh, a groundbreaker is a spade. Okay, so this is something that does literally break ground in a gardening context. So, like galleys are oared. Okay, I might have gotten it right on my first try. So, the German bit, I mean. Newsroom folks for short could be editors. And, right, here we go. Specialized tableware for serving some Mexican food, and an anagram of 17 across. Right, so our final one. Looks like holders, probably. And what's left? Taco holders. There we go. I suppose that is actually a thing. I have seen taco holders before, little sort of angled bits of, I guess, metal or plastic used to hold tacos. A bit of a frivolous item, one might argue, but it is a real thing. So very well done to Ben Zune for getting these 4. I wonder how many possibilities he went through before he found a kind of anagram, a collection of letters that he was happy with, because I can imagine going through quite a few to find one that, as I say, is a pretty good normal phrase 4 times over rather than something really punny and tortured just to make it work. Okay, well, let's finish off the grid. Prelude to bandwidth throttling. A data cap. So you could have a sort of limit on how much data usage you have at full speed with, say, your mobile phone provider before your data is capped. Or at home, I suppose, as well. Adornment that may have a certain charm. A bracelet could be a charm bracelet. And if something followed a curve, it arced through the air. Snowboards and lingo, right? It still looks like rides, doesn't it? Is it? It is. After all that, presidential candidate of 1992 and 1996 in the United States, that was Ross Perot running as the Reform Party candidate, third-party candidate, twice over. So snowboards and lingo are rides. That is interesting because so many other things are that as well. Cars and skateboards and, I don't know, almost anything really that transports somebody, but fair enough. Oh, an ancient Greek city-state is a polis. So this is referring broadly to the concept of the polis, the kind of political unit, as opposed to a particular city, unless that is a particular city and I'm ignorant of it, which is entirely possible. But I understand a polis to be more of a conceptual idea. All right. If one talks sweetly, one coos in the manner of a dove or a pigeon, which are the same thing, of course. And an EV battery capacity unit, electric vehicle, I guess, battery capacity unit. Is it a mo? No. No. What is this? Arizona player informally. Arizona Diamondback. Oh, what is this? Right arrow or left arrow is an arrow, a kilowatt hour. There we go. That makes sense. Okay, so there we go. That was the Wednesday crossword. I think, relatively nice, smooth solve with, I think, a very impressive theme. A sort of, it's a very simple theme in a way. We just have four answers, which are anagrams of one another. But as I said several times during the solve, I find myself very impressed by it in a way because of how sort of unimpressive the phrases are. I think it's quite astonishing to have found four very sort of ordinary reading phrases that contain exactly the same letters and then work them into the grid very cleanly. I didn't think there was a lot of sort of horrible crosswordese going on either. I suppose we had bits here where we had things like der and eds and, moo, but none of these were particularly sort of overused little crossword words. We didn't have very many sort of official nouns of the New York Times crossword in this grid. It was a very nice, subtle piece of construction, I suppose. So well done to Ben Zune for his debut in the Times. And that's that for today. Unfortunately, I have extremely limited time today, so I'm not going to be able to do the clues from yesterday's puzzle, but do keep those coming because I would like to do them most days when I have the time to do so. In any case, that's that for Wednesday's edition. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow on Thursday for a more intricately or surprisingly themed edition of the New York Times crossword, so do join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Wednesday. Take care.